Hello Year 2, this is Activity B, and today we're going to be looking at solving missing number problems but with addition and subtraction. So first of all we're going to have a look at when the missing number is at the start, of an addition sum. So there's an example here, something adds 13 equals 24. Now if it's the first number that's missing, it's always better to do the inverse operation. So we know that the opposite of add is take away. So we would do a take away sum to work out the answer. So we would go 24 take away 13 equals 11. So we know the missing number is 11. Now when you do your subtraction, you might want to do it mentally. So just a quick reminder how to do that. So we would keep 24, which is obviously the biggest number at the start, and then we partition the second number that we're taking away. So it was take away 13. So you can see that I've gone take away 10 first, it's 14. Then I've taken away the ones, which is 3, so that gives us 11. Alternatively, I know some of you like using the column method. So when you do 24 take away 13, you might like to set it out in columns like I've done here. You partition the 24 first into 20 and 4, then you partition the 13 into 10 and 3, and then we always do the ones first, so we'd go 4, take away 3 is 1, then 20, take away 10 is 10, and then we'd go 10, add the 1 equals 11. So down the bottom you can see that that missing number is 11. So what we're going to look at now is if the first number is missing in a subtraction calculation. So the example I've given here is something take away 23 equals 25. So remember what we said last time, if it's the first number that's missing, we do the opposite. We do the inverse, and the inverse to take away is addition. So we would go 25, add the 23. We're going in the opposite direction because we're doing the opposite calculation. Again, you can choose whether you solve this using a mental strategy or the column method. So if you're doing it mentally, I've started with the 23. I'm then adding the 10s first, which is 20, and that gives me 43. Then I add the 1s, which is 5, and that gives me 48. Again, just done a quick recap on how to do the column method. So we'd partition the 23 into 20 and 3, then partition the 25 underneath, 20 and 5, and then we'd add the 1s first. 3 and 5 is 8, and then 2 10s are 2 10s is 4 10s, which is 40. So the answer would be 48 is the missing number. Take away 23 equals 25. On this one, you'll notice that it's the middle number which is missing on the addition sum. Now, if the middle number is missing on an addition sum, you can still do the inverse if you want to. So you would just take the biggest number, because remember a subtraction sum has to start with the biggest number, which is 60, and then you would take away the 45. Again, you can do it mentally, so we'd start with the 60, then we're going to take away the 10s, which is 40 to give us 20, then take away the 5 gives us 15. Or again, you can use your column method. Now, this one is a bit trickier, so look closely. So I've partitioned the 60, and then there's no 1, so I've put a 0. Then we had to take away 40 and the 5. Now, if you have 0, you can't take the 5 away. So remember what we do is we do some exchanging. So there was 60 there. We're going to take away a 10, put it in the 1s column. So we're only left now with 50. Make sure you write those numbers in so you don't forget. So now we've got 10 in the ones column. We can go 10 take away 5 is 5, and then 50 take away 40 is 10, and 10 and 5 make 15. So 45 add 15 would equal 60. Now alternatively, you could count up from the smaller number. So you might want to go, right, 45 add something is 60. So if I start at 45 and add a friendly 10 first, I get to 55. Now I can't add any more 10s on, else that will be above 60. So I know I've just got to add some 1s on. And I know 5 and 5 make a 10. So now I'm adding the 5 on to make 60. So you can see I've highlighted the amount that I added on. I added on 10 and then I added on 5. And 10 and 5 make 15. So still looking at if the missing number is in the middle of the calculation, but this time it's a takeaway. Now, if the middle number is missing on a takeaway, you can still actually do a subtraction. So you would just go 45 take away 22, which is the answer. So 45 take away 22 equals 23. Again, you can do this mentally. So remember, we keep 45 the same, then take away the 10s, which is 20, which will give us 25, and then we take away the 2, so that gives us 23. Or again, you can use the column method. So 45 is partitioned as 40 and 5, 22 is partitioned as 20 and 2. Then we look at going 5 take away 2 is 3, 40 take away 20 is 20. 20 and 3 make 23, so the missing number is 23. Now, alternatively, you can count up from the smaller number. So you might want to go 22, add something will give me 45. So I'm doing this mentally. I've got my 22. I know if I add a 10, it'll be 32. I can keep going, 42. So I'm adding 20 first to get me to 42. And then I know 2 and 3 make 5. So I've added a total here of 23. So the missing number is 23. What you need to decide is one of those ways. Which ways do you think would be easier for you, and stick to that method? So now have a go at solving these. Remember to pause the video because the answers are on the next slide. Top tip when you're checking your work, remember the bigger number is always at the start of a subtraction sum, and the bigger number in an addition is always at the end, the answer. So here are the answers. You might like to pause it so you can mark your work. Hope you got them all right, Year 2. So now you complete the worksheets. Well done.